see where this goes. We're going to have Brandon Spano of the Brandon Spano Show of 93.7 FM and 1510 AM in Denver. Brandon, are you with us?
How's everything going, guys?
It's going good, and of course, we're ready to talk Broncos. And I just mentioned that Tom, my co-host, is a Seahawks fan, so I don't want this to get too testy on the air.
Right. That's fine. That's fine. I actually, this is my job. It's what I do for a living, so I'll give you straight-up answers of whatever I truly believe.
Fantastic. That's what I like to hear.
All right, let's dive into it. Talking about the man who's been behind the mask for the Denver Broncos. Obviously, Peyton Manning has led the Broncos and potentially and most likely will be the MVP of the NFL this season. But who has been the undercover guy for the Broncos, the one who's led the Broncos to the Super Bowl, do you believe?
Well, I mean, it's everything definitely goes through Peyton Manning. But if there was a number two guy that you had to pick, it's probably a guy like Noshan Moreno, who set up the run, who's really a guy that's blocked for Peyton Manning a whole bunch. You could also go Luis Vasquez. He's the left guard. He has been absolutely phenomenal, probably the best left guard in the National Football League. He was an all-pro first team this year. He's a guy they run behind, and he's a guy that has protected Peyton Manning a lot. There's obviously probably nobody on the defensive side of the ball you could give that award to, just because they've been they were a liability until about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and then they've obviously straightened that up. So probably one of those guys, probably a Luis Vasquez, probably a Noshan Moreno.
You mentioned Noshan Moreno, and he was sort of an afterthought in Denver this year. They drafted Monty Ball to be really the premier back this year, but he's had a nice little resurgence here. The focus has been on Peyton Manning versus the Seattle defense and Peyton Manning versus Richard Sherman. But what do you think Moreno and/or Ball has to do, in order for the Broncos to win this game?
Well, the Broncos are finding out that Ball is the much more explosive runner. He averages almost a yard per carry more than Noshan, particularly over the last 6-7 games. And Monty Ball has a much higher percentage of taking a run over 20 yards than Noshan does. I think Noshan has 2 or 3 of those out of almost like 300 carries or so. So, Noshan is really not that explosive of a guy. I don't think he's the best runner on the team, but he's very tough. He's the toughest runner on the team. He has a ton of heart. He has a ton of will. He doesn't drop any passes. He's great catching balls out of the backfield. He's one of those guys that's not great at anything, but he's not bad at anything either. He's just good at everything, and you can play a lot of years in the NFL if you're like that. Now, what you're going to see in this game is a lot of Noshan Moreno, particularly to keep the defensive ends honest, and that's what you'll see when the defensive ends start really flying around the corner trying to get to Peyton Manning. You'll see Peyton Manning start audibling, and he'll start getting the running game going up the middle. He'll start getting those guys. He'll start running in those lanes that get created by those wide rushes by the defensive end. So, when that happens, those tackles kick those ends way out. They let them fly right by, and then there's a lane there. So, the more they run into those, the more they'll have to stay honest, and you'll see some of that. The Broncos have changed a fast-paced offense that snaps the ball and doesn't let the defense get ready. They've changed that into, it's still a no-huddle offense, but now it's a ball control offense where they still run no-huddle. They get to the line of scrimmage, but Peyton Manning is slowing it down. He's at the line of scrimmage with about 30 seconds left, and he's using all 30 seconds to see what the defense is doing so he can call the right play at the line. And then sometimes they're running the ball and they're short passes, but they're utilizing the clock, and they're playing ball control football, which wins in the playoffs. So it's a little different, but I expect that kind of approach. I would say if you were looking for carries, you're probably looking at about 25 runs in this Super Bowl. I do think they're going to pass very heavily.
Yeah, and you mentioned the hurry up and the no huddle, but still the ball control. And Seattle obviously has 7-8 linemen. They love to filter through on the defensive side of the ball. So do you think the Broncos are sort of planning on disrupting that flow? Getting those situational rushers in and out for the Seattle defense.
Right. If you really want to know exactly what the Broncos are going to do, in my opinion, obviously this is a prediction. There's a couple games, there's two games in particular you can look at. You can look at the Kansas City Chiefs at Mile High towards the end of the year there, late November, early December it was, and the Chiefs at that time were on pace to set the record for sacks in a season. That was before Justin Houston went out, obviously. They were on a tear. And Peyton Manning averaged 2.6 seconds per pass, which was by far the fastest. There was games he averaged 4 against weaker teams. So extremely fast getting rid of the ball. They were all short passes. They moved down the field like that. That's exactly what I think is going to happen against Seattle. The other game is the Tennessee Titans. The Titans came in with the best passing defense in football at that particular time. Obviously, since then Seattle had continued their tear and ended up the season as the number one defense. But when Tennessee came to Denver, they were the number one pass defense yardage-wise in the game, and Peyton Manning threw the ball over 50 times on them and put up over 50 points. And so I think that I'm not saying they're going to do that to the Seahawks. What I'm saying, though, is that they are going to pass the ball a lot. It's going to be very short passes. It's going to be 3 steps and out. Nobody gets rid of the ball better than Peyton Manning. His linemen always go to the Pro Bowl. Then they get traded, and they're terrible for some other team that doesn't have a quarterback that does that. So that's what you can expect. You can expect Peyton Manning getting rid of the ball extremely fast. I'd be surprised if they sack him more than once or twice. No one sacked him yet in the playoffs. No one might sack him in the Super Bowl. They're getting rid of the ball extremely fast. Now, that is a good thing for Seattle because it doesn't let the big plays develop. With Seattle, they're going to try to jam everybody at the line of scrimmage. That's what they've done. They're going to play very physical. That's going to disrupt that quick passing game for the Broncos. So it's really going to be a great battle. It's just going to be an absolute phenomenal battle between these two.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and Julius Thomas, as you mentioned, and Wes Welker are going to have a lot of opportunities to open up the middle of the field with Peyton Manning trying to strike quick over the middle of the field and go into this quick passing attack. And also Eric Decker and Demaryius Thomas will have their opportunities on the sideline one-on-one. But now we're going to go into some odds makers, Brandon. And as we get into this now, we have an opportunity to look at our odds makers that we've created for the show. For the first one that I have for you is the chances that Peyton Manning throws 2 interceptions to Richard Sherman. I was also going to include that Richard Sherman has another media blow-up, but that was a little bit too out there.
So one of them was Richard Sherman's media blow-up. What was the first one?
That Peyton Manning throws 2 interceptions to Richard Sherman in this game.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely go with a Richard Sherman media blow-up over that, but I don't think either one of those is going to happen. If I had to put my bet, though, I would bet on a Richard Sherman media blow-up. There's no way. Here, let me tell you this, guys. If you look at Peyton Manning's interceptions, they are from bad throws. He's getting hit while he throws. He overthrew the guy. He expected the receiver to turn in, and the receiver turned out. There was a miscommunication. Those are his interceptions. He didn't throw one interception this year where you'd say, man, that was a bad decision. He doesn't make bad decisions. So he's not going to throw. If Richard Sherman has the guy covered, Peyton Manning's not throwing there.
That's a good point.
I mean, the only way if Richard Sherman might get an interception if Peyton Manning overthrows a guy or something like that, or maybe Richard Sherman even bats a ball into the hands of another defender, which he does, religiously. Maybe that happens, but he's not getting baited into anything, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Peyton Manning's been around too long, and he's too good of a player to get baited by Sherman's talking, obviously. But here's another little fun odd maker here. Chances that Marshawn Lynch fumbles and doesn't stay for his press conference in the event of a loss.
Chances that he fumbles and doesn't score a touchdown.
So chances that Marshawn Lynch fumbles, and then chances that he doesn't stay for the press conference in the event of a loss.
Right. I would definitely go of him not staying for the press conference in the event of a loss. Absolutely. I don't think Marshawn Lynch is fumbling. I think he'll have a pretty good, decent amount of success. I don't know if there's any team in the league that would really hold him back in a game like this.
I think the way Marshawn Lynch has handled this media day. He said he's not ready for the media day, but he's ready for the football game, and I think we can all expect a beast mode like performance. Our next odds maker is the chances that we don't have two of them, just a one-part odds maker here. The chances that Peyton Manning retires, not directly after, it doesn't have to be, but just after the football game.
0%.
Okay, so you think Peyton Manning is going to be a Denver Bronco next season, even after the reports of the neck?
100%. I know 100% for sure, guaranteed, telling you right now that he is not going anywhere, no matter what happens.
So why have the reports come out that Peyton Manning, with the neck injuries, that there are chances of Manning might retire? Obviously, you say that he won't, but why have reports said that he might?
I think that anytime there's a guy that's 38 years old, every single year they're going to start speculating retirement. Yeah, I understand. This guy just had the greatest season in NFL history. He's not going to retire. And he said, that when it's not fun to him anymore, not just playing, but the preparation side of it, when that's not fun to him anymore, then he will retire. And I don't think that he's at that point. I don't think he's even close. I think he had a ton of fun. This is the most laid back we've seen him. I covered him. This is the second year in a row. Obviously, I've covered him. I've covered him at practice, in the locker room. I've talked to him a million times with other media members, of course. I'm very, very positive that Peyton Manning is not going to retire. I'm pretty sure about it.
I'm happy to hear that, and I think every NFL fan should be happy to hear that, because watching him play every week, and it's so special that we get to see him in the Super Bowl one more time. And as you said, if he's not retiring, maybe this won't be the last time. But watching him play is something special, and it's something I think every fan will remember. Even after he's long gone. But switching lanes here, we are going to put you on the spot here, and prediction for the game here. Is it going to be the Denver offense that prevails, or is it going to be the Seattle defense that holds on?
You know what? In this one, fellas, I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos offense. It's the greatest offense in NFL history. I know I had Chris Harris Jr. on my show earlier on Tuesday night, and he said that he didn't think anybody would be able to stop the Denver Broncos offense. I don't think that anybody is going to be able to. So, but I got to tell you what, I'm actually walking in the facility right now, guys. So I'm gonna have to let you roll, but I'll give you my prediction, which is Denver Broncos 27. Seattle Seahawks 10.
Ooh, I like it. So you're gonna go with a little bit of a blowout. And Brandon, we appreciate you coming on here on the lineup, and you've been a terrific guest, and we hope to have you back on soon.
Thank you very much.